Rachel, and today I'm going to show you two different versions of a recycled book box. So for this project, you're going to need some old books, some cardboard, scissors, an X-Acto knife, ruler, pencil, and hot glue gun. So let's get started. When you're looking for your books to turn into your box, you want to choose one that doesn't have a spine that's super glued into there so that it is easier to cut out. We're going to take our X-Acto knife and slice right down the edge. And see how that spine comes right off of there. And I'll stand it up and do the same with the back. Alright, we've got our spine loose from our book. We're going to save this for another project coming soon. Next, we're going to take our ruler and measure our spine because we want the box to sit flat. Going to be a little bit smaller than the inside here. So I'm going to call that 1.5 inches, and then we can measure. And we're going to take our cardboard, mark out 1.5 inches. Get nice and straight. And we'll need a couple of these strips so that we can go all the way around the book. And then we're going to cut those out with our scissors. Measured. I'm going to hold one of these up here like this. Perfect. Now we need to measure lengthwise. Cut one right here for each side. Unfortunately, these are going to be too short for our end pieces, which is why we cut a third one. That one's going to come about there. And we have two of those. Then we're going to take our glue gun, two long pieces, two top and bottom pieces, put it right there. sure those are gonna line up there. And the end. Perfect. And then if they've still got some loose corners, you can take your glue gun and go in the side, on the inside, and seal those corners up. Top joints look pretty good. This one has a little bit of an opening here, so I'm going to seal that up with the glue too. Just to give it a little bit more strength. Go ahead and do this edge as well. There we have our book box. Now, if you did want to be a little fancy, you could glue the inside here along this edge. You just have to be careful when you're opening it then, because you don't want to rip that piece off. Also, you can take a black marker and draw on the edges to make it look like a real book. So for this project, you'll need another recycled book and one that has more of a sturdier spine, because we're going to leave that intact for this box. You'll need your pencil, X-Acto knife, Mod Podge, a paintbrush, and a ruler. I liked to do the Mod Podge that had a matte finish so that the edges weren't glossy, it looked more natural to the book. All right. So I liked to keep this title page because it matched the end cap and I thought it was really cute. So I started on the first page with words and I measured a 1/2 inch all the way around. On both sides. And top and bottom. You can go wider, but I would not go any narrower because the closer you get to the spine here, the harder it is to cut through the pages. All right, now we're going to make our lines for our box. Alright, that looks pretty good. Let's start cutting. The hardest part of this was keeping the pages in order and making sure your corner pieces get cut all the way to each corner. Peel those out. And we're going to save these for another craft project. And then you're just going to you can follow your outline down a little bit through the book. I found eventually I had to start having pages on this side to cut through. We want to be sure we're not tearing any of the edges. So I will say I did tear a few, and it's not the end of the world if you get some in there that are torn through. Because the glue at the end is going to help to hold all those together. See, tore one there. But, like I said, those will be glued together at the end. And so you're going to do that for as far down as you want in the book. This one, I did all the way to the other side. On this one, I found a really cool picture of a sunset, and that's where I decided to stop, so that would be the bottom of the book. So when you get to the part where you want to stop your cutouts for your box, so like this one's going to be a little bit shallower than this one, but I think that's okay. You're going to get your Mod Podge and a paintbrush. You're going to make sure all your pages are lined up. Like I said, I had a few on this one where I tore through the whole thing. So we just want to make sure that those are all in line. And I found it was easiest to do the inside with the glue first and then the outside. And we're going to take a little bit of Mod Podge. Putting too much glue on the bottom than on the top, because we want it to be able to dry without gluing itself closed. To make sure that your book is sitting flat so that it'll still close correctly and look natural once the glue is dry. Now I got all the corners of the inside done. We can do the outsides. Outsides to go all the way down to the bottom, because that's going to help keep our pages nice and tight together. Mod Podge is an excellent crafting glue, probably best known for putting puzzles together, but because it dries clear and it's easy to clean up, it's really useful for a lot of things. still drying flat. There we go. Just smushing it down on top so that all those pieces are going to be nice and square. And then it just has to dry and you'll have yourself a book box.